in here with us right now?
Oh my god.
Now that's a knife.
That's a knife.
That's a lot.
That's not a knife.
Before we start playing, I want to make one last appeal to Dungeon Crawler Carl. Everyone should do it.
I second it.
Uh,
I'm on book 6.
They're making a live action How to Train Your Dragon.
Apparently it looks
What
good.
the fuck?
I technically started it, but I got about 20 seconds into it and got distracted and haven't booted it back up. So.
Terrible. Terrible.
I mean, 20 seconds in,
Terrible.
you can't really get a
Yeah, that's the
feel for a
intro.
book.
Yeah. It's
This is Audible. Lame.
This book sucks.
it's so good. And book 7 just came out, and I like tore through it in less than a day, and it was.
Damn.
Whoa.
I mean, I read it. I didn't like Audible it because the Audible doesn't come out till like February.
Hey, at least
really?
the new Stormlight
Oh,
book
dang.
will come out with the audiobook.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on my reread. I'm on Rhythm of War right now.
Noise. Yeah,
I feel
dude.
like
That's
I could
hype.
get some
That's like,
Spark Notes and be okay.
that's like 3 weeks away.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was November.
December 6th, I think.
Mhm.
The new book or the new audiobook?
New
The-
book.
Both. They'll drop it this year.
Mm.
Both. Yeah, they drop it all.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's not normal. Because usually it's like after the book's released they do it, but I guess they coincided together. So
I can see why not wanting to, so you kind of like increase the book sales. So people are just like, don't do the audiobook.
Yeah, I wonder how they figure that, like for bestseller lists. Like, do you think if an audiobook releases at the same time as like the paper copy, that it goes into that calculation?
Probably not.
probably not. Yeah, it's a separate deal.
Category.
But I'm sure most people who
It's
buy
just
the
like
audiobooks
TV
also
ratings
buy.
versus streaming ratings. Like they're separate.
Yeah, you're probably right, Kyle. Like most people that are audiobooking are probably buying physical copies too.
Yeah, I got the Mistborn ones. I think.
Or, I'm sorry, if you're buying it release day.
Yeah, I mean, I'll buy it release day for sure. I'll be there like at the store buying it.
Yeah.
I know there will be a lot of people who don't buy the physical copy, just the audiobook. But like,
I'm
if you're
just-
buying it on release,
I'm just gonna use a fucking Audible credit, honestly.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, his books are expensive audiobook. They're like $48 a book.
For who? Brandon Sanderson?
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Jesus.
it's like.
I mean, they're
You mean free?
55 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean,
For you normies.
yeah.
Are you a normie, Manny?
David, are you changing your mood lighting for D&D?
Yeah, I was just playing around. Bored. Bored!
I'm bored in the house. I'm in the house bored.
So everybody, I expect you to be done with Dungeon Crawler Carl, at least book 1 by next week.
Next
We'll
week.
talk about it.
I'm
A book
already ahead
report?
of schedule.
Is that a challenge?
Whoa.
And yeah, I don't know, Lyle. I don't know if you saw that, but Seth MacFarlane and the dude that did like Thor Ragnarok and then like the first season of Mandalorian, like they all bought the rights to like make a
Oh, really?
series. Yeah.
Oh shit.
I'll
Yeah.
ignore it for another week and just listen to polyrhythms for a whole week. So
That's lame.
No.
polyrhythms
What-
are
what-
cool.
Wait,
That's
do you see the
lame.
visualization of it?
It's a full brain reset when you listen to it. Perfect for work.
Perfect for work. Where's Drew?
Oh, he said he's gonna be
Yeah.
a couple minutes late. Sorry, he texted me.
Oh.
He told me to tell you guys, and I ignored him.
Huh.
Well,
Classic
Jamie.
David.
Interesting, okay. Okay,
Tell
well,
him at the end,
let's,
that's you, David.
that's me.
That's you, David.
Well, let's go ahead and, go over what happened last time then. Manny, take it away.
Yes.
Yeah, Manny, do all of it.
What happened last time was, I believe, we wrapped up fighting Poppy Zotto, Daddy Zotto, correct? Is that how it started? We finished
Yeah,
the
sure.
fight?
Why not?
We had some
We wrapped up
cinematics,
the
right? We have a
the
cinematic.
post Papazotl fight stuff.
Never mind, Manny. You're not in charge. I'm just kidding. Well, kinda.
I just don't remember how it
But-
started.
Waco put
It's
something
okay.
in important Malnova. Alright.
There's something in important Malnova I'd like to direct everyone's attention.
Important. No.
August
yeah, it
1st,
started-
2023.
It started last session with a cinematic. Does anyone remember what the cinematic was?
Which one?
Yokizos and Grat.
Hungry, yeah.
And what happened
Or
between those
badass.
two boys? We missed them.
Grat had a crazy dream where he was connecting with Thunder through the world tree in the ethereal plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it didn't hurt Grat's brain, but Thunder's brain got hurt, so. Who's
Grot
smarter?
doesn't have a brain.
There you go. Yeah. So a little bit of fuckery going on there. And then what did y'all in particular do?
Talked to the Ibris, gave them their idol
Feather.
thing back and the feather, and they kind of were like,
Mhm.
hell yeah, you guys are awesome, but also leave and get away.
They give us a nest too.
Yeah, they gave us a nest. They were like, yeah, you can stay here tonight, but like, fuck off, kind of thing.
Oh, they didn't like when we asked about Wango.
Wongo, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, Thunder had some weird, crazy space void eye, four-legged owl talk to him.
Yeah.
What was going on with that, Thunder?
Oh yeah, we traveled, right?
When-
we were traveling when you first saw the
Well,
eyes.
before we crossed the river, on the other side, it was this four-legged, wide-eyed owl. That I didn't really say anything at the moment because I was just like, "What the fuck?" And then later that day, I believe the Qinghuas, like I followed them, and they ran up to the same creature, and he told me, "Fuck," to find his master.
Yeah, also, that was at like 2 a.m.,
Fine.
not middle of the day, later in the day.
Yeah, later in the day, to find his master. Correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, to find.
Yeah. To
yeah.
Why do you
Fall-
keep? Why do you putting? Why wait? Why do you keep putting emphasis on find? I'm saying
Okay,
find.
because okay. The first time you said I thought you said fight,
No, no.
and I was
Find.
like, it's very, very different.
I'm gonna find his owner and kill him.
I want to find a bigger four-legged barn owl and eradicate him.
In the name of Alargian, I will kill his owner. But yeah, he didn't tell me who it was. Very helpful, that owl.
And then
yeah.
we kind of had a little discussion about like, should we go or
What to do?
should I stay or should I go? And then we decided to
Yeah.
go to the Heart of Ubtao based off of a dice roll.
Yeah, y'all threw it up to chance and decided to put in the Heart of Ubtao. I kind of like to imagine maybe in game y'all did like a little blind shuffle, and then took one and placed it in, and you teleported. What do you remember happening after you used the Waygate to the Heart of Ubtao?
I talked to a plant.
And what did the plan have to say?
They didn't see anyone and like exit the gate, but did see someone like walk from the wood line, I
We
believe.
saw a humanoid figure. We don't know what that entails. It could be a Wanti pureblood. Could be
Yeah,
Tabaxi.
it was more human than like snake for sure. I believe the plant was more helpful than the owl in describing shit.
Yes. Okay.
The owl's
Perfect.
fine.
Yeah.
Aslo saw us had his transformation. We already say that. All right, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
Yeah, we
True.
were talking about
Is,
that a lot at the beginning when you weren't here. So
Yeah, that makes sense. Dude. Yeah, and I know I was like 3 minutes late. You must have covered, just all of it, right? I mean,
We
like,
recapped
yeah,
the
it's
whole.
not-
We watched the full last session on YouTube.
I skipped around.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it makes
Yeah.
sense. So,
Yeah, that's very true. Azos completed his transformation, and I don't know. I can't remember if we actually specified, but he's a new subclass.
I don't think we
Yeah.
went into the details.
We did.
Yes.
New weapon, new subclass. That's the
yeah.
only thing
Yeah,
revealed.
you got a new
so
weapon,
far.
but the dwarves are like, what the fuck?
That's all you
Yeah.
get.
But it's cool to everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone else is down.
Visually, does he look the same?
No, well, I now so instead of the visual effects that I wanted to have is obviously you saw what the weapon looked like, but
Mhm.
I want an emphasis on like an orange, like kind of gold light over a blue one that I usually have with like that. It's kind of that's the main visual that I want. Like
Coming from the
different.
weapon or from you?
From me, like
Because he used
Okay.
to have like blue spectral animals and stuff, right?
yeah, and like whenever I'd communicate with the bear, it would turn like blue.
Blue
like,
eyes.
So now I want it to be like gold, and you'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gold,
Noted.
gold.
Blue eyes diamond dragon.
But, yeah
Okay.
that-
Anything else anyone wants to add before we dive in? 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Upyard guys are having a great day. That's
Everyone
all.
roll for initiative. We're fighting
uh,
the giant temple is what we're fighting right now.
I hope you are too, Manny.
Fuck.
Okay. I described a little bit last time of what the group of you saw, but I'm going to share it again. The group of you are kind of in a rocky outcropping, and you can see in front of you out in the distance, a good ways, rising out from the grasslands of the jungle below it, a massive plateau that towers over everything else on the horizon. You are slightly elevated, kind of like you see in this picture, and you can see below you some rolling hills and some other rocky outcroppings that poke up from the trees, in almost every direction that you look. Immediately in your vicinity below you, below the plateau that you're currently on, is a wide forest that stretches in most directions. And similar to how it was at the last waygate that you were at, this one seems old and abandoned. It's a structure that looks honestly pretty much like what you see in this picture right here, like a pavilion almost of sorts, kind of, that is open air, but roofed. And and you can see that it is massively in disarray. The stone is weathered and crumbled. It's covered by creepers and vines. Bricks are missing, and even the walls in some places have fallen apart. Unlike the other way shrine that the group of you were traveled to, this one has nothing in its little pedestal that would contain the waygate key that you would place in it. And in some ways, I think that you would gather that this is maybe even more abandoned than the previous one, even less used. A little bit about, I guess, the weather here. The air is much drier here. You don't hear the drone of insects and the songs of birds in the deep jungle like you did back at the river. Here, it's much drier. The winds blow much harder. And you would definitely notice like a weather change as you are beat down by the sun.
Ew.
And so if we look around like cardinally, like what do we see to our northeast, southwest?
So you would see the massive plateau is almost directly to your northwest. And the forest beneath you, in relation to your little token right here, directly to your north and kind of in all directions north, is a sprawling forest that you can see. And To your south, it begins to thin out slightly, but beyond that, I don't think you'd be able to gather any details. These are more like kind of macro observations.
I'm casting Goodberry to kind of like cool my palate of a nice refreshing berry and kind of to hydrate myself for the coming day.
Great idea. Great idea. Yeah, it's about 10 a.m. or so right now, I believe.
And then I hand out my paw if anybody wants one.
I take
Yeah,
one.
I take one.
File's quick to grab one.
Nice,
take
nice.
Yeah, I'd take one.
And yeah, it's definitely satiating. I think even at 10 a.m., the group of you would kind of begin to feel the heat from the sun beginning to beat down on you.
Shall we head northwest?
You
Yeah, I
think
mean,
there's
it's
something at
flat
the
Sure.
plateau?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm down.
What's the? This is
Damn.
just dirt
Dang.
on our feet.
Yeah, you're like on a stony outcropping. You can see that, and I think that this would be kind of pervasive to this entire landscape. You can see in multiple different directions that this landscape is littered with plateaus. None nearly as massive and as sprawling as the one off in the distance. That maybe y'all could name, so I don't have to keep going to the plateau. But there are dozens of kind of minier ones, of smaller ones that rise up. It seems to be like a plateau ridden landscape. And so this way shrine is built on a small one. So it's pretty flat around you. I mean, it's rocky, but generally flat. And so you kind of have to go down the sheer edge to reach the actual dirt below you. Go ahead and ping for me what hex y'all are traveling to.
Northwest, I believe. We said.
I see a
And
consensus here.
I guess the first question is, can we travel to that one based on the plateaus?
Yes, yeah, you'll have to do a little bit of hiking to get down, but this plateau is small enough to where it's not like a challenge or anything. You really aren't that elevated. But it does take some extra effort, some extra time to safely bring yourselves down. And once you do so, you find yourselves in a kind of descending down into a forest. I would like for anyone that is proficient in nature checks to go ahead and roll me one.
Oh, David.
Halbjorn
Wow.
cannot help with that. I do have a +6 though, because it's int.
A natural 1.
That's one way to look at it.
I think that the two of you, it won't require a crazy check, but the two of you kind of, as y'all are descending down into this forest, you would be able to notice that these trees here are different. They aren't the same jungly, dense trees that you were having to trawl through before. These are smaller. These are drier trees, kind of almost like live oak, that have kind of big sprawling branches up above, but the trunks themselves are pretty kind of thin. The forest here, it doesn't have like a massive amount of undergrowth like the jungle did that made things actually like quite difficult to pass through. This is much easier, which is nice.
I don't cast speak to plants, but the first tree that I come to, I kind of put my palm on the trunk, and I say, "Thank you for the shade. It's much appreciated." As we walk through.
That's sweet.
I punched the tree as I walked by. I'm just kidding.
Fuck you.
And I need someone to roll me a D100, please.
Oh snap!
I just roll a D1, so or a fucking one. That's
I'll
all I
do
roll.
it.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I
Alrighty.
vote for Aslos to roll it.
Take Aslos.
Take his.
We'll take
Huge.
Aslos.
Wait. Unless the 5 is good.
Take his.
Yeah. Is it 5
I mean, it
enemies or
went
45
first.
enemies?
You know,
Here?
his was first, so you know.
Do they have an AC of
Okay.
5 or 45?
I'll take the next one in 6 months.
I want anyone that is proficient in survival to roll me a check.
Damn it.
Well,
Oh shoot.
Manny, stop
What's with
saying
these-
that because you keep throwing rolling terrible. Look, Drew got it.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go.
Let's fucking go! Damn, what the fuck?
Oh my god.
Easy
Okay.
money for Ventus.
I am shocked.
Yeah, we have the magic god sword
You're
or
too
god
busy talking
weapons.
to trees, Thunder.
Of
Yeah,
course, our survival's insane.
Thunder and Jaryu, as the two of you kind of observe and point out the difference in the flora here, and you are taking note of it, Halbjorn, in your journal. Aslos, you and Ventus notice something quite different as y'all kind of take in your new environment. You can see that kind of almost not zigzagging, but kind of curving like this, swooping kind of between the tree trunks on the ground. There's a very wide, maybe like 3.5 foot wide, like trail of like mucus that is kind of left on the branches and the grass on the rocks that is just kind of sliming outward.
You
Guys, look at
and then
this.
you guys seeing this?
Gross.
And I like
No.
like lean into it, like trying to get a closer look at the mucus.
Yeah, I'd like to smell the mucus.
Sure.
Is Hobyorn smelling it too?
Well, I at
I don't
this
know.
point have pointed it out to everybody, so anybody who wants to take a whiff, that's
Yeah.
not me. Go
No,
ahead.
I'm not smelling it.
With my low survival check, I am just talking nonsense about these trees that I know nothing about, and pretending like I know everything about them.
And as you do so, and you kind of lean in to examine this mucus, you can see, for everyone that's looking at it, especially Azos, you and Ventus, due to these survival checks, you can, as you lean in, you can hear like a soft, like kind of almost like sizzling sound, like a hissing sound. And you can see that this mucus is slowly but surely eating through everything below it. It is slowly like burning through the stone and the rock beneath it, through the grass and through the dirt, and it is like it is consuming it.
Once I like see this, I'm gonna take like an arrow that I just have in my bag, like from some like broken or something like that. I'm just gonna kind of toss it on it, see what happens.
And as he does that, I'm gonna yell behind me, Fayil, can you touch this mucus for us?
No, absolutely not.
You watch us as the arrow slowly, you can see a little bit of like almost like steam rising from it as it is slowly being eaten by the mucus.
I'm gonna pull out one of my bottles from my kit, and I'm gonna use
Just by
Mage
Eel's
Hand.
face.
I'm gonna use Mage Hand and try to like
Scoop some.
scoop some into the bottle, and I want to see if it eats the glass or not.
Okay, yeah. So you you begin to kind of scoop some into the glass vial. And no, I don't think that you would see it consuming anything. And for those of you that are watching the trail, you would see that as it is eating through these different substances, it is slowly beginning to solidify into its own like kind of shimmering glassy substance. It's like a residue, but it's beginning to harden, and it almost looks like it's leaving glass behind.
How much can I fit in the bottle?
I'm imagining it's like a vial like this big, so you could like kind of fill it up if you wanted.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna fill it up.
Does it harden in the vial?
And yeah, you can see that it's slowly kind of beginning to harden in the vial. It's not like hard, but it like kind of stiffens.
Yeah.
Is the end
Just
of
cornstarch
the
your soup.
is the end of the trail visible from our perspective?
No, it continues going into the forest.
You guys want to follow it?
I think
Yeah.
that's our destination.
Absolutely. If it's gonna fuck these trees up.
And
I
it
like the
leads
hobby work.
you it leads you northwest or northeast, sorry, to this hex.
Let's
Do
do
it.
it.
Oh, thank God I don't have to roll.
It worked. I didn't say. Oh, really, David?
And it brings you into in just deeper into the forest. You can see in areas where it has gone through or over like rocks, it has eaten the rock down, and where it has done so, it leaves behind crystal growths and other kind of like mineral deposits, as though it like exposes it from the rock. It's kind of like crystallizing the rock beneath it, with its kind of mucusy trail.
I'm gonna cast Find Familiar as a ritual.
Okay.
And send Inkblot to go scout ahead and see if I can follow the trail with it. Before we walk
Sure.
up on some giant crystal slug of death or something.
And Jaryu, you rolled a nature check.
Yeah, and I guess it's a crystal, so I don't know if like my stone cunning could be applied here, but
Mhm.
I just want to know if like I would have seen this in my traveling
Sure.
through Underdark.
Yeah, you kind of lean down and inspect the crystal that is kind of growing out from the mucus itself, and you do recognize the crystal growths that are kind of growing in its wake, and they're nothing like special, like maybe some opal, other kind of similar gemstones, some quartz. But I think what would be more striking to you is the fact that, almost like leaving like fertilizer behind and watching flowers grow in its wake. That's kind of what you're seeing here, but with this slime trail over stone. You've never seen anything like this where you could like grow a crystal so quickly.
Yeah, I want to grab one of the crystals.
Sure. Yeah, you kind of break it off, you snap it.
Is it easy to
and
snap off?
yeah, we'll say you get like a little one.
It's either something that'll get you really high or really poisoned.
Yeah, and I want to inspect the piece that I broke down. Is there anything remarkable about like the notice that I noticed different now that I'm like holding a piece up to my eyes?
No, I don't think so. I think all that you would see is that like the crystal itself is kind of like a glassy opalescent, if that makes sense. It kind of shimmers and has like a kind of a rainbowish hue, like a mineral would, if that makes sense. It's not like white. It glimmers, with a full spectrum.
I'm intrigued by the crystal, so I'm like just strolling along this path, and I'm just gonna start breaking crystals off and throwing them in my backpack.
Sure.
David, before moving on, since I see that we could grab a piece without hurting ourselves, I wanna break a piece myself, lay it down on the dirt, separated from the trail, and then drop produce flame on it to see if fire does anything to it.
Okay. You cast. Well, I'm sorry. What do you cast on it?
Just produce flame. I'm dropping produce flame on it
Okay.
to see if there's any reaction with fire.
Yeah, you watch as the magic is repelled completely. The crystal is untouched, and in fact, kind of pushes against almost the fire.
Whoa.
The hell?
I go back to the
and
group
this,
and
Jaryu, this to you would be extraordinary.
I was hoping it'd explode.
in my face.
It's a fragmentation grenade.
I go back to the group. I'm like, well, I'm probably gonna sit this one out in the next interaction. I'm back with the group.
Why,
And
why would it be
mhm.
extraordinary to me? Just because like it's just repelling magic?
Yeah, there's something more special about this gem. Like a normal crystal would, it wouldn't like burn or explode or anything, but it would at least be like kind of charred by the fire.
Okay, I
Whereas
start
this
taking the
is,
gemstones out of my bag and fastening them to my armor.
Yeah, I was gonna say like maybe someone can make some
Slap them
anti-magic
on.
armor.
And at about this
But
point,
the wind
Inkblot
doesn't
returns to
operate.
you.
So,
Inkblot returns to you. And can you communicate with Inkblot?
I can
You
see
can
through
communicate.
its eyes, and you have a telepathic connection. So yeah,
Okay.
I can hear what it hears, see through its eyes.
You gotta
Yeah.
be stationary and go all warging.
Doesn't
Yeah,
say,
we'll
it just
say.
says as a bonus action. Doesn't say you can't. I don't think you can see or hear through your own eyes and ears while you're in his.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
either
that's what
or.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your eyes kind of gloss over as you see through ink blots, and it shows you a small entrance to a cave that the mucus trail is leading into.
Yeah, and I tell everybody there's a cave up ahead. Do we want to try to prepare how we're going into this thing, or just walk in like we always do? I look at Fail.
I think first we would decide whether we want to even fuck with this thing.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we do, right? Everybody wants to. We want to go.
Yeah, it's fucking with nature.
It's gotta be Unk, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gotta be. It's gotta be something. It's gotta be something.
It could be something, right? It could be one of these. It seems more like a creature. Yeah, it has to be. Okay. Well, I mean, approach with caution, right?
Yeah, magic doesn't work on these crystals.
Yeah, I
Lead
mean, if
with,
it's a trickster god, then it's going to be similar in strength to Papazotl in some way. So we got to be approach carefully for sure.
Yeah, I mean, but if we're going into a cave, I mean, there's really not much we can do other than stay close, right? I mean, can't really attack
Gotta
from
keep our
different
wits about us.
angles.
Jaryu,
I mean, we can
Much
plan out
tricky
how we
stuff.
go in.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
We can have prepared actions if something happens.
Are you and Jin in the front for sure? Back up, either Aslos or me. Them three, and then either Aslos or me in the back. Ventus in the middle. Halbjorn in the middle. Yeah, she's just tallying things off.
I'm definitely in the back
That sounds good.
because I'm mainly a spellcaster.
Yeah, but you don't want to be in the
I
back
can be up front.
because if we get ambushed in the back, then you're the first one that gets hit.
Yeah, either me or
I'm
You
second
also
to last.
have wild shape into giant health pools. So, I mean,
I'll be in the back. File, go ahead.
Okay, and I think Jaryu should be in front, and then probably Jin for sure behind us, but ready to be in front. You know, do your thing.
well, and
Sure.
we don't necessarily have to be single file, right? So it
We
doesn't.
can do wedge formation.
It doesn't
Or
have to be like
formation.
super.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a
wedge
super thick
formation.
cave.
Yeah, I think Jaryu and Jin kind of scouting with me, protecting them in the front. That's the first wave, and then our magic boys in the middle for sure.
Okay, let's do it. I'm just trying to give
And
you that option,
Jaryu,
Waco, so complain about it, about how we don't.
Yeah, I know, but it's like it's not quite a battlefield that we get to look upon and go, okay, hey, look, there's the enemy camp, and we can see their, that's. Oh yeah.
So you don't always just plan for battles, though.
And Jaryu, I saw that you casted a little something something.
Uh-huh.
Would you want to describe what you did for everyone?
Oh yeah. I summoned my steed, which was, if you remember, was in the
Mhm.
form of a giant old dog.
Yes.
That I ride.
Yeah.
And I decided to, on this day, at this moment, ride my giant dog.
What's your dog's name?
I can't remember. I named him, but I can't remember.
So, well, go ahead again. Name him now.
What was it? It was like
It was something crazy, actually. I do remember.
it was like
It was
he had a whole
wild.
title. I can't
You,
remember.
let me find it, because
He's
you
that
messaged
old.
it to me.
Yeah,
It is Aged Feyhound, the Duke of Dog, Ancient Steed of Many Men, Ralph.
Ralph.
Ralph. Love.
You gotta redo that again. One more time. Read it one
Yeah,
more
put it
time.
in the chat. I don't even remember what it was.
Yeah, let me do that. I'll put it in
Ralph.
important.
He's very
Malnova.
old and very
That's
uppity.
important.
Very old and very uppity. He raises his nose. It appears as though Thunder, you rolled an animal handling check.
Yeah, I want to respectfully walk up to him and offer him one of the remaining good berries that I have.
He raises his nose at you and then takes
Yeah,
one.
that's right. That's right, Ralph.
I turn around with my head down and walk back.
And I like to imagine that this is it's like a pretty big mastiff, but it's not huge because it doesn't necessarily need to be to fit you as a dwarf.
Yeah, no, I think
That's
it's just
true.
like a normal
I
size.
didn't even think about it.
Okay, and the group of you proceed. You follow the trail, which leads you one more hex. Here.
Yes.
Wow. And I believe I ruled that if you roll a crit, you can discover one hex adjacent to the one that you just discovered.
What do we want, boys?
Ooh. Does the trail go
Yeah, which one's to the
anywhere
cave?
else?
Y'all are at the cave here. It
Oh,
ends here.
I'd say to the
Five.
northwest.
Let's roll a d5.
Okay,
Or
D5.
yeah, or just pick one.
Fuck it, west.
Okay. As the group of you follow this slime trail that leads up to a small cave, Thunder, you kind of glimpse over to see the forest continues. Yeah, it's more forest.
More forest, guys.
Good to know.
That's good to know. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Check the cave.
Hey.
And you can see that the cave itself is maybe 7 feet, like the entrance is 7 feet tall or so, and that the slime goes into the darkness.
I guess we're just going, right?
I mean,
We gotta check this out.
yeah, I'll pull out a
Definitely.
torch. I'll light up a torch.
I just
Okay.
hold produce flame.
And
What would be a native land animal of Reptua?
I look at myself.
I mean, a classic would be a dinosaur of some type.
Okay, well I have this now with the new 5.5e. So I summon a beast
Oh.
and I pick land that resembles an
Okay.
animal that is native to the chosen environment.
We'll say you summon like a mini triceratops.
Yeah, it's not like a huge giant.
No, it's like the size of like a dog.
Fuck yeah.
I write it. Next
That is
I write
awesome.
it.
I write
I
it.
like that. I like that a lot.
Awesome. And the group of you head into the cave.
To the cave.
With produce flame and the torch lit, the cave entrance kind of gives off an eerie vibe as the stalagmites and the stalactites cast off shadows in every direction. The group of you walk for maybe 10 minutes or so until you reach the a cavity in the cave and really where the trail ends. And you can see that as you delve deeper into this cave, that the slime is beginning to mass more and more to the point where once you reach this final chamber, there is slime all up on the ground. It is almost like a slime coating that covers all of the stone inside, and you can see the culprit pretty clearly. In the middle of this cavern, you can see that it is gnawing on some large pieces of stone. And it has 5 tentacles that are slowly swaying back and forth in the air. The creature itself is probably about 6 feet tall, and 4 feet wide. It's quite large, to be honest. And it looks like this. The most striking thing about it is probably the large red tentacles that it has that are slowly swaying back and forth, or its incandescent shell that comes off of its back. Jar, you would notice that this shell has the same kind of shimmering, rainbowy, glossy look as the crystals did that you pulled off. And you can see with its little mouthy things that it's slowly consuming rock as mucus is coming off of its body. As the group of you kind of enter the chamber, one of the tentacles moves towards you as though it's like an eye stalk looking at you and just watches you as it continues to nibble on its stone. It really doesn't mind you. Doesn't really pay much mind. You can see that it's like kind of watching you, sensing you, but it's not doing anything about it. It just wants to eat.
We were shown the images of all the trickster gods before, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
This is definitely
would
one.
I be able to put two and two together? This is Unk.
Roll me an insight check.
David. See,
Ooh!
Yeah, that would be your first instinct, Torbjorn. You'd be like, oh my god. Like, it's fucking Unk. But I think that you would then, after a few moments, kind of calm down slightly, knowing that the trickster gods take the shape of creatures
Pokemon.
to Reptua. And so I think maybe what may make more sense to you, Halbjorn, is that you found the creature that Unk kind of assumes the form of. It would be like finding an Ebreeze.
Yeah.
I can't talk to this one, guys.
Well, that makes sense, though, right? Because it's... Yeah. We're supposed to be dead gods. Not climbing up the forest. Okay. So we're in Unk's Lane. Still looking at us?
Someone talk to it.
Can we
The
speak to
stalks is,
animals?
Hello?
And when you say hello, it kind of like it sways slightly.
Thunder? You speak with animals?
So well first I wanted to cast Beacon Earth. I create a thin shroud of dust or sand that covers the surface of a 5-foot square area. I don't feel comfortable standing on.
In its mucus.
Yeah, so I'm standing on dirt.
That's funny.
And then I want to roll animal handling to see if speak to animals will work, essentially.
Sure.
Instead of just like wasting it. Oh,
Yeah.
man, that was close.
As
Does
you
it have a ring that just gives you that?
as you examine this creature, Thunder, I think that you would